What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to a new exciting Lurid Lacquer video. We have her July set to check out, and this time we have nostalgia galore. If you are a millennial like myself, you will embrace the names of these polishes, and I dare say you are going to be like me. You'll see the names and you're going to be like, yeah, I had very similar memories like that too. So super sweet, and they are inspired by her Karen's siblings, and we've got her brother Dan, and then we've also got her sister Sam, which that's where the color palette in general comes from. Next to me here, you can see the collage. We have a lot of pinks, we've got some purples, and we've got some beautiful blues. We've also got 3 new limited editions that are coming to the shop along with this launch. More on that during the recap of the video at the end. But per our PR notes, Karen does note that we do have a lot of pinks and corals because that color in general just evokes a ton of nostalgia for her. And it does for me too, because I can think of back in the 90s, my favorite ice cream truck treat was the screwball cones, and that was like a corally pink. I'm thinking of all the candies that were pinky colored, just bubblegum stuff in general, all of that. So it's just a really wonderful summer collection. So let's dive in and check them out. We're going to start off this nostalgia fest with Barbie Wolverine. This is described as a raspberry pinkish red jelly base with large particle aurora shimmer that shifts from blue to indigo to red at extremes. When I pieced this video together, when I also swatched them and photographed and did the whole process of getting all of these together, please note the comparison at the end of the video will show you how different all these pinks are. So just bear with me. They're all beautiful and unique and different in their own way. Barbie Wolverine is a true jelly type of base. I do agree with the official description are on the very large particle side. Therefore, it gives an almost foil-like effect. This has a beautiful glistening looking effect too. I'm going to caution going too thick on your coats, otherwise you'll have a touch of over buildup, and you'll want to go in for 3 light coats. You might see a touch of your visible nail line. If you have a prominent free edge, it won't be super bad, but I thought it was worth noting. Cards and Coins is described as a cerulean crelly base with gold to green aurora shimmer that shifts to blue at extreme angles. This one is actually named after a card shop that the maker Karen went to with her brother, and I can totally relate to that. My brother used to collect baseball cards too, and also had Wolverine figurines, go figure. Anyways, Cards and Coins is a true crelly-like formula. It builds and plumps just like a cream, but has a softer, squishy feel to it like a jelly. I'm going to suggest 3 light coats here too. It dries down flat because we're so packed full of shimmer, so I would suggest a good glossy top coat. Devil Rock is one of my top picks in this set. It's described as a pinkish red jelly base with aurora shimmer that shifts from pink to orange to gold. So where Barbie Wolverine was more of a true raspberry with a pink lean type of base, this one to me is a pinkish red. I completely agree with Karen's description on these. They are spot on. Devil Rock has a finer particle shimmer to it. This one takes on that beautiful, just all-encompassing type shimmer. It's pretty fine particle, as you can see on my full hand shot here. It gives these retro vibes from like 90s nail polish. Again, it's somewhat jelly in how it appears even after 3 light coats. I don't think your visible nail line is going to be super prominent, but in very, very bright lights, if you went in lighter on your coats, I could see it. So again, I thought it was worth noting. Playing with Mom's Makeup is a semi-sheer raspberry pink jelly base with shimmer that shifts from purple to red to pink. It does state in our PR information that she highly recommends that we go up to 3 coats for this one. That is not a problem for Miss 3-coat Queen here. I went in, honestly, I think 3 coats for every single one in this collection. And honestly, I just think it's necessary. Shimmers need to be packed on, if you ask me. I like that loud, obnoxious, I want my nails as loud as possible. And honestly, I also like that thicker, plumper look on my nails. Playing with Mom's Makeup also is a jelly formula, so the same caveat applies here. Again, I would never ever classify any of these as sheer, but you might see the tiniest bit of peekaboo in super bright lights. So again, my standard disclaimer for that will apply here. Use a nude to you cream base or a blurring base coat of some type if that bothers you. Potholes Trail is a cerulean curly base with glowy green shimmer that shifts subtly to teal at extreme angles. This one is another one of my top picks in the set, and no surprise there, Karen does blues just ridiculously well. It's amazing, and they're just chef's kiss. Potholes is one of those types of cerulean blues that's vibrant, so very flattering, medium to deep skin tones. This is going to pop so good on you. Tooting my own horn here, I thought this looked fantastic on me, and you can see it on my full hand shot there. It looks beautiful. This is also going to be a fantastic color for toes too, before we start covering up for cooler weather. Not here though, in the South. It's still going to be hot and blazing until probably December. Riding sleeping bags down the stairs is a reddish purple berry base with vibrant blue to purple aurora shimmer. It does state in our PR information that the blue shimmer can make this polish look more purple than the base really is. And I agree with that too. If you note on my first coat here, you can see that it's a reddish purple. As we build it up, it's going to take on almost a grape-like purple effect. On my photos, it just freaked out my camera. My camera was like, no, ma'am, I'm not having it. And it just kind of looked more sheet-like, if that makes sense. So please note, for color accuracy and for how it looks, please refer to the actual video portion for what I'm seeing in person. It looks pretty accurate to what I see here right in front of me on my desk. I'm going to suggest 3 coats and a glossy top coat. This does have the most jellyish, lighter formula than the rest of them. But again, no problems here. And my disclaimer for a visible nail line applies here too. Sam's Candy Tab is a raspberry pink base with aurora shimmer that shifts from a silvery lilac to a vibrant pink at extreme angles. Another really flattering pink. Across the board, I think all polishes in this set are going to look great on any skin tone. And that's just because we've got these beautiful, super saturated colors. And I think that's one of my favorite things about this brand, that we don't have shy colors, if that makes sense. And I'm always, tooting about, I want loud, I want in your face, I want my nails to be noticed a mile away. And I don't know, this set, I love them so much. Blues and pinks, come on, my favorite. Sam's Candy Tab has a somewhat crelly base to it. It does have a plumping, easy buildup, but again, it's got that jelly factor to it too. So go light on your coats, and no issues with streaking or anything on the larger particle shimmer here either. Saturday Cartoons is described as a pinky coral jelly base with large particle shimmer that shifts from pink to orange to gold. So we have a coral. To my interpretation, this base, or rather how it builds up in terms of its color, this to me is a true coral. At least this is what I think of when I think of coral. I think pinky, orangey type vibes. And I think this is flirting in there. And then of course that pinky orange shimmer amps it up even more. So this is like coral prettiness, if that's your jam. Again, another incredibly flattering color. It is also jelly based, so please note that. Disclaimer goes here for visible nail line, but I can't stress enough across the board, I don't think it was super, super prominent. And again, I don't think any of these I would classify as sheer. Bert is described as a pinky coral base with aurora shimmer that shifts from red to orange to gold. True story, I immediately shoved this bottle in my husband's face because I was like, I'm not the only person that says this. Bert has again, we've got a coral base here. Now, when I do my comparison at the very end, you will see what I'm talking about. I do think it is quite different from the previous coral Saturday Cartoons that we just saw. This is lighter, it's more delicate, more dainty, and again, we have that finer particle type shimmer going throughout it. This also has that lighter type of buildup overall. Again, I wouldn't classify it as sheer, but it is light, very much like Riding Sleeping Bags, the purple one. So I think your visible nail line might show just the tiniest bit more on this one. On my full hand shot, you can kind of see through my nails, so that will give you a good idea of that. Swapping Barbie heads and bodies is described as a pinky coral base with glowy blue to purple aurora shimmer. I totally did this. I didn't have enough brown Barbies growing up, at least if you ask me. My mom would probably disagree, but I would totally swap. I think her name was Midge, and she was the mermaid one, and she had long blue hair. I would put her on any body whatsoever. Anyways, swapping Barbie heads has this interesting type of shimmer to it. It's very much, to me, it's kind of like riding sleeping bags in that the shimmer takes on almost like a sheet-like effect in photos. So again, I strongly recommend for better representation, please note the actual video portion, though I don't think that my photos clumped up the shimmer as much as it did on the riding sleeping bags. My camera was just not having it on these finer particle shimmers in this collection. Top bunk, middle bunk, and trundle bed is described as a cerulean base with glowy blue aurora shimmer. Again, I know you're hearing my description on that, or rather Karen's description, but just wait till you see the comparison at the end. This is completely different than the previous cerulean blue that we saw in the beginning. This is another one of my top picks in the set. It is one of those types of blues, incredibly glowy, strong shimmer going throughout it. And this formula overall, to me, leans more of acrylic. It's got this almost plumping, chromy feel in how it applies. And I think that's just because it's so packed full of shimmer. Again, I'm going to suggest 3 coats. On this one, you'll want to go a touch lighter, not overwork the brush to prevent any potential streaking, and you're good to go. This will also dry down flat, again, like the rest of the collection, because we've got shimmer bombs. And then the last one is Upside Down Bicycle Ice Cream. This one's described as a coral jelly base with aurora shimmer that shifts from magenta to orange to gold to green. Another name that totally resonated with me. I mean, we churned butter and we made ice cream, and we were practically dairy farmers when that bicycle went upside down. So this one has a somewhat larger particle type shimmer to it. It's almost similar, in my opinion, to, say, Barbie Wolverine, in that it's flirting with being a foil. I would not classify it 100% as such, but it is larger particles, so you're going to get that more glistening looking effect. This one has a really easy shift over to orange, very much like my macro shots here. It is on the more jelly side. So again, instead of repeating myself, please note my previous disclaimers for visible nail line and what have you. I don't think it was part of the more lighter ones in the collection. And then we're going to wrap this up with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So even though we have delicious, loud, in-your-face type of finishes overall, we do have a lot of softer type of buildup in general. So of course, these are all going to work. Across the board, you can see how different they look over dark colors. But over lighter colors, I would just caution that you're going to need to do a little bit of color theory if you want to get creative and layer these. I think you can absolutely do that. I think there's a lot of ways you can wear them, especially if you're going to do matchy match. But again, just keep in mind, these are pretty tinted overall. Most of these, for the most part, even over the black, if the camera didn't pick it up, I was definitely seeing it in person for their respective tinted bases. Now, I think on some of these crellier ones, like Potholes, basically the blue, the 3 blues, and then the purple, those had a more crelly feel to them, and you'll want to go in light on your coats. So most of these I went in normal for how I typically apply, and I had no issues with streaking or anything. But again, those blues, that crellier type formula, just don't overwork it. Let the paddle brush do the work for you. Do your traditional 3 stripes down the nail to layer it over a cream if you're going to do that. That way you'll get even dispersal of your shimmer. I think you can do a lot of vampy things with them, and I'm kind of actually curious to see. I think this would look really cool over oranges, maybe even burgundies, things like that. Okay, so we have our comparison time here. I'm starting off with the pinks. I compared the ones I thought looked kind of corally, I should say, with this warmer appearance overall. I stuck Devil Rock on my index finger there as kind of somewhat like the outlier to both the warmer ones and then the more pinky, cooler ones here. Please note, I do know that I did leave Sherbert off of this pink comparison. But in a minute here, when I have my collage up, I'm going to leave it up here for a second and blab to you all to buy some more time. And you'll see what I'm talking about. I think the photo really gives you an idea of the differences between them. The Will It Topper segment also showed how different the shimmers are too. Some of you not purchasing the whole collections and whatnot, I think you can just go off of, say, what type of shimmer, that kind of thing is floating your boat, for lack of better words. And then the blues, just going to be a dirty enabler here. I think they're all beautiful. And then I took the purple riding sleeping bags. I used that one as the outlier for this set. And you can see they're all really vastly different, even though in the official descriptions, we're hearing, cerulean blue and things like that. They're quite different when you see them right next to each other. The site is currently open for wish listing. I really love that you can just get on the site, create an account, and you can go through. You even have a requests, a polish request comeback form you can fill out. There's a lot on the website. I love the website so much. It's really nice. You can also see behind me here, we have the 3 green polishes that are coming in as monthly polishes, if you will, that are going to go along with this set. I know I will be grabbing them myself. The site is going to go on official shopping Friday, July 26th at 6 p.m. Central Time. The site is going to close Friday, August 2nd at 11:59 p.m. Just wanting to be completely clear, Karen does plan on keeping things around as much as possible, just to prevent any type of FOMO or, if you're fear of missing out, things like that. But I do want to note, for those of us who are incredibly impatient and you want her pretties right now, each of the polishes, as what I'm reading here, are capped at 250 bottles. So she is a small brand. Growing pains are great, but I just want to make that clear because the last couple of releases, we have had some sellouts, and she is very aware that people want things, and she's more than happy to keep stock around. So don't freak out, but personally, if you're wanting it right now, get there when the site opens. I'm going to link you all below to Lurid Lacquer's website, and I will also link you to her Instagram page if you want to go in there and follow that. That's a great way to see what she's going to be restocking right before launches. Her website also has a blog post section where she's writing up, future plans for the next launch, things like that. Lots of ways to stay updated. All of this will be in the description box below. As always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Don't buy all the greens before me. Thank you so much for watching.